We're continuing our work this week and looking at the ways that we can deceive with data and how we visualize that data. But we're extending that a little bit, and we're also looking at visual metaphors. So on screen you see an example of an illustration and a graphic that is meant to convey some sort of quantifiable number, yet the capacity or the volume of each of these representative circles isn't truly representative. So if you look at it more carefully, if you start from right to left, we're looking at how the Nobel Peace Prizes have been broken down over the years. So you see numbers inside circles, and they proportionally increase from right to left or decrease from left to right. However, is it proportionate for the circle that represents 28 to not truly be double or roughly double the size of the circle that represents 15? And what about the transition from 15 to 14? Those circles aren't necessarily representative. So it's not quite the same as when you try to convey that same information. So there's some issues there. But then you want to take it a little bit further. So there's also a post from the Idaho Steelheads. This was a fairly controversial moment last year in the news when some fans were at an Idaho Steelheads game at the stadium and they went to order a beer. So a small beer was 16 ounces and cost $4. A large beer was supposed to be 20 ounces and cost $7. So for almost double the price, you only get 4 ounces more. Yet a few industrious fans noticed that the servers weren't exactly paying attention when they poured. So they ordered a couple of smalls, they ordered a couple of larges, and then compared the actual volume. And lo and behold, they were roughly the same, because you could fit almost 20 ounces of beer in a 16-ounce, supposed 16-ounce cup. So there were some issues there in terms of conveying capacity. So what we're talking about doesn't necessarily stay on the page, on the screen. We're also talking about how visual metaphors affect us in the world around us. But beyond that, how do design elements play into that? Some of you may have seen the popular image on Facebook or other social media that shows you where the lines on a Solo cup correspond to certain elements, as you can see on screen. So it's an interesting, crafty way to convey design and put that in this context as we talk about a visual metaphor and how does design contribute to that. But then, is it overt or covert? Is it explicit and blatant and open, or is it something that's hidden? Like the Solo cup. It's a simple design aspect, but have you ever paid attention to those lines before? Have you ever conducted an experiment to see, is that the right measurement? Just some thoughts to think about as you look at this week's materials. Use the on-screen navigation to access another section of this week's overview.